Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I'd like to thank my dear friend Jimmy Flowers for sending this to me. A pastor was attending a men's breakfast in a farm county, and he asked one of the impressive older farmers in attendance to say grace that morning. After all were seated, the older farmer began and said, "Lord, I hate buttermilk." The pastor opened up one eye and wondered to himself, where was this going? Then the farmer loudly proclaimed, "Lord, I hate lard." Now, the pastor was worried. However, without missing a beat, the farmer prayed on, "And Lord, you know I don't care much for raw white flour." Just as the pastor thought he should stand up and stop everything, the farmer continued and said, "But Lord, when you mix them all together and bake them up, I do love fresh biscuits. So, Lord, when things come up we don't like, when life gets hard, when we just don't understand what you are saying to us, we just need to relax and wait till you are done mixing, and probably it will be something even better than the biscuits." Amen. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America on a wet Monday, November the, holy cow, 27th already. My goodness. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch, and don't forget, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And it's time to get ready for winter driving out there. It's going to get a lot worse, too. And don't forget some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, sir.
And do the pledge, please.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast, brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South 3. It's 600 west of Heyburn, absolutely, on the Burley Paul Highway. Don't forget they get there early in the morning, starting things off at 7 o'clock, and they offer the rental of the best tools and equipment that you need to finish a construction project or whatever you're doing. Hey, be sure and stop in and see Roger and the crew today, or give them a call at 678-3122. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn, ready to serve you. Here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for the final Monday in November. And here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. We do have a slight chance of morning rain showers. Those are supposed to dissipate by 11 o'clock this morning. Other than that, partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. Breezy, high of 47. Tonight, clear and breezy with a low of 27. Tomorrow, sunny and calm with a high of 45, but that's going to change tomorrow night. We do have a 20% chance of rain or snow showers with an overnight low of 30. That could carry over to Wednesday morning, 30% chance of morning rain or snow showers. High of 37, going to be partly cloudy by the afternoon, and Wednesday evening, mostly clear and 25. That's your Monday morning weather for Zebeth Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and don't forget K&R Rental right there on the Burley Paul Highway. Great folks over there in Hayburn. Calling is easy to do to ask them questions. 678-3122. And don't forget that they've got all the sewer snakes to help you out. And don't forget to do the main lines or the sprinkler blowouts before it freezes. Yeah, I'm telling you, they can help, and they will help at K&R Rental. Good people over there. Oh, my goodness sakes, we've got a busy, busy day today, and your calls are welcome and appreciated. And I want to remind you that Merry Christmas from Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, America's Diner. And listen to this, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More with Jeff and the crew at 459 Overland in Burley. Now, here's what you need to do. If you're having breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Denny's, sign your meal receipt and put your telephone number on there, and you may be the lucky winner of a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner, compliments of Lee's Furniture and Denny's Restaurant, coming up on December 14th for our Christmas party. You get into America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant today. Don't you miss that. All right, calls are welcome. And appreciate it, pardon me, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Darrow's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. You know, you probably went hunting and came home, and if you're like me, you just kind of pitched and threw everything in the back of the pickup truck and then unloaded it and threw it upstairs in the attic or out in the garage or whatever. Maybe you better clean those sleeping bags. They got all the salsa and the fry sauce, and they've got all the Cheetos and everything. Get them clean. Don't leave them sit like that till next hunting season. Get everything clean. And don't forget, they can take care of, at Thanksgiving, did you spill gravy on your tie or your blouse or whatever? Hey, listen, take it into Darrow's Cleaners at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Everything will come back to you looking brand spanking new. And our thanks also to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459 for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Woo, baby, maybe you better build an ark the way things are going. And they're open at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. And stop in, get your furnace filters. It's going to get cold, and you're not going to be ready. And you're going to ask your furnace for the ultimate job, and maybe you can't do it because you didn't change air filters. Stop in at Ramsey Heating and Electric today. Burley, Idaho, 678-0459. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? I absolutely tell you, that was one of the nicest Thanksgivings we have ever had, and it was elongated over the weekend. Thursday, we went over for an absolutely scrumptious, delicious Thanksgiving brunch at Toby's Nick's, and it really, really enjoyed that. And then on Saturday, the whole family got on the interstate and everybody went up to Jake's up in Nampa. Wow. He put in a great big turkey wrapped in over 2 pounds of bacon and smoked that turkey. It was good eating. Had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we hope you did too. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The Democratic Party, and I'd really like somebody to call me and let me know what your thoughts are on this. They not only seem to be stuck in a rut, they are stuck in a rut, and they're still pushing forward the likes of Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie is not a Democrat. No, he's a socialist. And he went through his political career as a so-called named independent, but he's a socialist. They're pushing through Bernie as, I can't believe this, the fresh face and the face that they're right now leaning towards for 2020. And then, of course, Joe Biden, and horror upon horrors, Hillary Clinton. Now, this morning it was really interesting. Early at about 4:30 our time on television, they interviewed some of the staunch liberal Democrats and asked them about Hillary Clinton. There was one Negro lady on there this morning that grabbed her hair and said, no, enough. Hillary, go home, get in the rocking chair, take care of the grandkids. It really surprised me. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zed.
Yes, sir.
We, too, had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We had over 30 here at my house.
Wow.
And the only one of my entire family that wasn't there was my grandson and his wife and my great-granddaughter.
Wow.
They live in Utah, and they couldn't make it. Other than that, they were all here. We all had a wonderful, wonderful time.
Well, I am so glad for you.
Cheerful to do that. And then we turn on the TV.
Uh-huh.
And here come them Democrats, like you said. This Al Franken is a disgrace to the human race. He comes on so nice and easy. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You know, just so sincere. This isn't the Al Franken I know. Is it you?
Well, Al Franken, a so-called comedian, and his pathetic sense of humor, which has been in the gutter for many, many years before he tried to be a politician, and he's still trying. He's not succeeding. And he said he will not resign. He's not going to leave. And with all the sexual assault charges that might be and are coming out, Al Franken is a waste of skin in our Congress, and I wish that he would just open the door and let himself out.
Well, and then we have this person that's running from Alabama for a Senate seat, and he has admitted to a certain amount of things, but he says he's not guilty of all these things. And why are we passing judgment on him when we don't know the facts?
You know,
Al Franken, we have pictures of him doing it.
Yeah. You know, Keith, you're in a gray area there. Not you personally, but the conversation is in a gray area right there. And for those that have confessed, for those that have had witnesses, eyewitnesses, and first account witnesses, and those that have made allegations against certain individuals, boy, when you come to that category of certain allegations against certain people without bona fide proof that is absolutely cut and dried, then you come up with the old American adage of innocent until proven guilty. And I'm not going to jump off anybody's boat or jump onto any dock on anyone until I find out exactly what the truth is. I think you feel the same way.
Yes, and this word that's become so famous, I do not recall.
Yeah.
This John Conyers, you know, I guess the Lord has given us ability to judge people when they first open their mouth, and that's what I've done with John Conyers 20, 30, maybe 40 years ago.
Yeah.
He's just a disgusting human being.
Well, John Conyers, not only A, is he too old to serve, yes, he is at 88, B, he's a sleaze, and many of the things he's done with illicit and illegal allegations, along with his wife taking bribe money and serving time in prison. I mean, he's not really a great representative for the American political system. Hey, Keith, I got to run, but I do appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Hey, you have a wonderful day.
I will, sir. Thank you. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant, my friends, Thomas, Terry, the whole crew. 611 North Overland and Burley. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time. And I'm telling you, you go in there, you're going to have a delicious menu to choose from and great servers. Just really a great dining experience at Denny's Restaurant. 611 North Overland and Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. It's true, America's Diner. And we're going to be over there on December 14th for our great big Christmas party. Don't you miss it. I'll be telling you more as the days go along. Denny's Restaurant. Also, while I've got just a moment here, I want to say thank you to Pomerelle Place. And what nice people over there at Pomerelle Place at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, a place for senior living. You know, Pomerelle Place offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. You don't have to be home alone. In isolation. You don't have to worry about the safety hazards and the injuries, going up and downstairs and all this, and maybe not fixing a decent meal and maybe not taking your medicine. Pomerelle Place is the place you need to check into. Call it. Find out. 677-8212. 677-8212. Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living in Burley. Holy cow! Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Also, while I got just a moment here, I want to talk a little bit about the NFL and disgusting more people, more athletes, prima donnas, are taking a knee. Over 24 took a knee this weekend. Despicable. And Deanne's asking me at 4:20. That'll be fine. Thank you, Deanne. I appreciate that. We had a little personal note I had to take care of. Keelix Supplements, a very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for your livestock. Now, here we go into the winter. And if you're like me, I really want to take care of my livestock, make sure they're getting all the nutrients that they need to stay healthy through the winter. And we're supposed to have another Jim Dandy winter again this year. Well, I'll tell you what, Keelix Supplements may be the answer for you. So call Scott Mitten at 435-230-1175. Call him and he'll help provide the information and the product for your cattle for what they need. Now, Keelix products and supplements help fight disease, help maintain proper functioning of the reproduction system, digestive system, and the nervous system in a variety of different formulas for beef cattle, dairy cattle, horses, sheep, goats, etc. Check it out today. Call 435-230-1175, Scott Mitten and Keelix Supplements. You do that today. All right, give me a call, please, at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. If I were the commissioner of the NFL, and I've thought a lot about this, I would have, never let this problem exacerbate itself for as long as it has and as dangerous as it has become because of what's happening for the, let's use the word palatability to the American audience. People are getting a sick, sour taste in their mouth for NFL football. And the cameras at the networks are not telling you the truth when they pan the arenas and the coliseums because there's a lot of empty seats at these football games. And if I were the commissioner, I would have made an edict right away. I don't care if you want to stand for certain social injustices or whatever and use your spare time, free time, to go out on the streets and talk to people or make arrangements to go on television shows and talk shows on radio or whatever and talk about what you consider to be police injustice or police brutality or anything else. But when it comes to honoring our flag, and honoring our country, and honoring those that serve us to keep us a free nation, you get up off your knee or get your lazy butt up off that bench and stand for our national anthem. That's the way it's going to be. And this weekend, as I said, there were over 24 players that thought they would show, why, even though we're multimillionaires, why social injustices. You don't really have them define. Each and every player that takes a knee should be required to tell exactly what they're taking a knee for. And really elaborate on it. None of this, social injustices, or police brutality, or blacks are being harassed by policemen, or whatever the reason. At least expand on it. Show your great college IQ and learning ability now that you're out of school, and now you're a professional. Go ahead and expand on it. I'd like to hear. And, there was a lady, I'll tell you about this black lady that was on TV earlier this morning. Very, very interesting, and I want to share that with you in case you didn't see it at 4:30 this morning. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Our thanks to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. You folks that never got hurt, never have had a sprain, a strain, or a broken bone, or recouping from an accident, lucky you. And for the rest of us that have had kind of a life of having that in our history, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley can and will help you get back to being you. Absolutely. Be sure and get a hold of them today. Nick Greenwell and all the physical therapists there, they are excellent. Excellent. And they also have that hydrotherapy pool. Whoa, they can help. You'll appreciate it. Call them today for an appointment, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley. Really, really good folks. Also, I want to quickly remind you, I'm kind of gathering up. We're at that busy time of the year, folks, so you kind of have to bear with me a little bit on the all the commercials, but I do appreciate your calls, so please give me a jingle on the landline. I'd love to hear from you, as I also want to talk to you about Dino's Septic Service. I've had many, many people call and say, you know what, I appreciate the fact that you're advertising for Dino's Septic Service, because doggone it, I don't want to go out there and pump that septic tank. I don't want to go out there and clean that sink drain line. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. Well, there you go. All the more reason to get a hold of Dino's Septic Service in Rupert. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of telephone numbers. Write them down. 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service, and they'll pull in their yard with that great big truck that says, "Smells Cargo on the way." They're the best. Dino Septic Service in Rupert, you get a hold of them today. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And I'd love to hear from you. What about the NFL? What would you do? The one black lady that was on TV this morning, and a very interesting lady, a mother, a veteran that has served our country. And she said, listen carefully now, blacks are not victims. Those are really 4 strong words. She said blacks are not victims. They have all the opportunity in the world right here in this United States if they work for it. And that's where color goes out of the equation. Whether you're black, brown, white, whatever, that's where it goes out of the equation, because if we all work for our goals, this land is still the greatest country anywhere on the face of the earth to achieve and attain those goals. And the way she said that blacks are not victims. They have all the opportunity in the world. I am sick and tired of the race baiters, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. Well, Jesse rubbed a lot of trains. Anyway, the race baiters trying to stir things up when now these blacks in America have every opportunity availed to them, i.e., case in point, multi-million-dollar football players and basketball players taking a knee during our anthem, protesting what? What? Really? Calls are welcome, 436-2244. Bear with me again. I got to pay some bills here. Don't forget Vicky's Country Garden, the lovely Miss Vicky. I look forward to springtime when she's on our program with Vicky's Gardening Program. 185 South, 600 West of Paul, and she thanks you for all your business this year. And by the way, don't forget gift certificates from Vicky's Country Gardens. Call her on her cell phone, 431-5667, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Vicky's Country Garden. Also, Streamline Precision would like to encourage everybody to go up to a person in uniform, shake their hand, and say, Thank you. Men and women that put their lives on the line every day so we can live in the best country in the world. Tim and the crew at Streamline Precision encourage you to thank the people that serve us. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Thank you, Streamline Precision. And last but not least, Magic Valley Irrigation at 44 East, 500 South of Burley. My goodness sakes, they say thank you to all the farmers for producing the food for us to eat. And to Magic Valley Irrigation and to all the people in the Magic Valley, Merry, Merry Christmas from Jeff and the crew at Magic Valley Irrigation. Wheels, did I hear you say something?
Not that I know of.
No, all right. Well, then I must have heard something. In just a moment, we're going to give away a dozen delicious cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox over in Rupert. So don't go away. And I want to urge everybody to be listening because we're going to ask a question here in just a minute, and you might be the lucky winner of those cookies. But before I get to the cookies, I also want to tell you about our great folks over at the Urgent Cares. Did you have a little sprain or a cut or something this weekend over Thanksgiving? And maybe, doggone it all, you were looking for a place to go. Well, I'll tell you what, they're there to serve you and your family. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley at 382 North Overland, over Urgent Care in Jerome at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls, 2392 Addison Avenue East. From cuts, you need stitches, or maybe you had a sprain, a strain, or a fracture, or chemical burns, or whatever, they're there to serve you, and they can save you money. They offer a plan with no premium that can help you manage high deductibles, and remember, they're open 7 days a week with extended hours, and there's a qualified provider always on staff at all three Urgent Cares here in the Valley: Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Urgent Care of Jerome, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls. Stop in. If you need them, they're there to serve you. Stop in today. Let's give away a dozen cookies. And the first person, first-time winners only, that can call in and give me the answer to my question this morning will win a dozen cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street, right on the square in Rupert. Delicious bakery, delicious restaurant. Here we go. Are you ready? All right, here's the question. It's an easy one this morning, really easy. In the movie True Grit with John Wayne playing Rooster Cogburn, what was the name of the very famous singer that played the part of the Texas Ranger in the movie True Grit? What was the name of the very famous singer trying to be an actor in the movie True Grit? What was his name? Oh, I already gave you half of the answer right there. His name. So John Wayne played the lead. He was old Rooster Cogburn in the movie True Grit. But what was the name of the very famous singer in the movie True Grit? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a jingle real fast. I'd like to hear from you. Oh, more worries. Now, ISIS, and this is unbelievable to me, ISIS in a magazine, a terror magazine that they put out, is showing and telling and imploring all those that want to do great harm here in America. The new target, they say, and the most devoted target that they should try to hit are the subways and trains. And in their terror magazine, I'm not even going to give the name of it on the air because I'm not going to give them any publicity whatsoever. They're coming out and they're showing the different devices that people can rig up and they can go ahead and knock trains off the rails. Good heavens. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Do you know the answer?
Well, I'm thinking it's Glenn Campbell.
Who is this?
My name's Ray.
Well, Ray, that doesn't help me very much because there's about 18.5 million Rays in the country. What's your last name?
Okay, it's Ray Helms.
Ray, do you like cookies?
Oh, I can usually get them down.
All right. Well, you go over to Sophie's Chatterbox, or give them a call and tell them when you're going to be over there to get your cookies, and they'll have them ready for you. Congratulations. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right. Well, you're the winner.
Very much.
You're the winner, Ray.
I'll call them up.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ray Helms wins the cookies. It was Glenn Campbell, and he played the part of that Texas Ranger in True Grit. And that was a good movie. I enjoyed that. And I think, honestly, one of the best acting jobs, if you will, and performances of John Wayne. John was, his early years, big guy, and said the lines and had the different walk that he designed himself and everything to stand out and be different. But I thought that he did a really good job of acting in that movie, True Grit, more so than the others. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ray Helms is the winner of our cookies this morning. Ooh, yeah, cookie time, Christmas time. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental Sales, Service, and Parts. 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. And they do have all the equipment you need to get the job done, including a great big line of Bobcat excavators. I mean, man, they got all the Bobcats, all the shapes and sizes. And don't worry, please. If you don't know how to run one, just go in there and say, well, I need this for this, but I don't know how to run it. They'll take you out and back in the big sandbox and teach you how to run it. You are in like Flynn. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental. And, of course, Sales, Service, and Parts in Jerome, Twin Falls, and with Juan and the crew at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Barry Equipment and Rental. Really good folks. Okay, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I just never thought 10, 20, 30 years ago that we would ever be hearing about magazines that would show how to maim, kill, bomb, and destroy, and literally invite people to become a member of their organization so they can go after us, the citizens of the United States. A magazine. And now they're after our subways and our trains because they say they are easy targets. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for taking the time to call.
Okay, good morning, Zeb. We're in a war that's probably going to turn out to be something worse than World War II. And if we don't, our aim should be total annihilation of the enemy. Now, during World War II, if we had rules of engagement, we'd still be fighting that thing. Now, in order to win a war, civilians are going to get hurt, innocents are going to get hurt, buildings are going to get torn down, and the only way to stop these people is just total annihilation.
Let me ask you something, Tony. You've been here on God's earth a little bit longer than I have. And have you ever seen or heard anything so basically ridiculous that a magazine that you can go buy, absolutely is soliciting the training and the atmosphere of becoming a terrorist and killing and maiming and bombing and hurting people? I've never heard of such a thing, and it's going on right under our noses, and nobody seems to really care.
Well, what the people don't understand is that's another method of training people who are totally disgusted with our government in this country, and they can't wait to overturn it.
Yeah.
And one of the big problems we have now is the NFL is nothing more than a bunch of overpaid prima donnas that would just as soon see this country go down and not give a damn about it.
Do you think that these athletes, and I hesitate to really give them any more credence than that, most of them are all of the Negro race? Do they really understand what they're protesting? Do they really have a mouthpiece or a platform? Do they really have the verbiage ready to go out and tell the people what all their disdain for America is? And I'm going to answer that question myself and say, no. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are all too many black people have such a hatred for the white race and Donald Trump, and they don't care how they go about getting rid of us.
We have to be...
I don't know how you feel about that comment, but that's exactly the way my feelings are. Now, I grew up back east among a whole lot of people, different races. And my feelings about it was I was never one to condemn an entire race of people because you got some bad ones. But now we're just getting too many people on the wrong side that want us dead.
I will say this, and I think you will agree with me. If not, we should have a little arbitration on this. I think that we have to be very, very careful and not lump all people of a certain race into the same problem, especially when it comes to the blacks in this country or anywhere else, because I know so many people, including this wonderful lady that was on television this morning, that is a Negro lady that absolutely has served her country. She's raising a family. She's raising her kids the right way to respect what they have in this great land of America, and that they are not victims. So we can't lump everybody together. It's just the percentage numbers that stand up and protest, especially in the NFL, that I don't think they have a clue what they're protesting.
Oh, that's right. They do. And like I say, growing up around so many different people that I know a lot of black people out there. I know Cuban people, I know Puerto Rican people, Chinese people.
Yeah.
You get good ones and you get bad ones. You just try to ignore the bad ones. But then you've got so many wealthy people out there, like the football players, that think that they've got enough money where they can control the rest of us.
Yeah, and I will say this, that they need to put their mouth where their money is. In other words, be informed and be more explicit as to what their gripes and complaints are and what they think is really police brutality and why they wear socks that show policemen as pigs and why they will take a knee in the greatest country that has made them millionaires. Tony, I got to run and do a commercial.
Okay, Zeb, I won't hold you up any longer.
All right, buddy. Take care. God bless. Thank you for being on the program this morning.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Good friend right there. Hey, by the way, there's going to be a great big stock cow sale coming up on Monday, December 11th. Put this on your calendar. The sale starts at 12 noon, and you'd better realize it's at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Right. I'm telling you, early consignments, 200 young cows. They got 150 middle-aged cows and cows of all ages. This is going to be a ripping good sale. Get a hold of Cade Rogge, Merv May, or Lance Udy, and the number to call, 431-5735, or you can give them a call right there at the sale yard. Great big Burley Livestock Sale Yard stock cow sale coming up Monday, December 11th. Don't you miss it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Talk to me, caller. Go.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, I am. Got to get you turned up faster than that. There you go. Go ahead.
Anyway, these people are wanting to take this country down. I wonder if they've got any idea what it's going to be like living in a country that is not like America, living in a country that's like, say Russia or China or, one of these third world countries.
You're making my point for me.
In the same conditions that they're causing us to live in.
You're making my point for me, Doug, and you said it very well. What do they want? Where do they want to go? What do they want to transform America into? I mean, do they expect that they're going to be making multi-million-dollar contracts playing football over in Siberia? Do they expect that they're going to be making multi-million-dollar contracts playing football, maybe if it's accepted, in Mexico instead of soccer? I mean, what do these people want? And you know what? They can't answer that because they don't know.
They don't. They got their feelings hurt when Donald Trump called them out.
Yep.
And the verbiage he used was a little harsh, but it hit the nail on the head.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're a dear friend of mine. It always will be. But you said his verbiage was a little harsh. In what way did he say anything different that I said and other commentators on the radio said? Really, tell me, what was so harsh?
The SOB.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what.
You know, he could have used different verbs there and different adjectives to drive his point home. But that got their hackles up. They do not like Trump. They do not like Trump because he called them out, because Trump won't roll over and play their games. Trump fights back. He doesn't care what kind of fight it is. If somebody hits him, he's going to hit back.
I will say...
We're disrespecting this country, and Trump's the president of this country.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's a God-fearing man, and so he's going to stand up for this country.
I have talked to...
He stands up for this country, the ones that are trying to get him to buckle like most politicians would are finding out that he won't.
Yeah.
And a lot of Americans are standing with Trump because we're tired of being pushed around.
You know, I've talked to some of my friends that used to play pro football. I've talked to many that are playing currently now. And quite frankly, I'll tell you, the gist of the conversation is put your money where your mouth is. Really explain what you're taking a knee or sitting during the national anthem for and why. And honestly, Doug, I don't think if you took any player, whether it's some of the Seattle Seahawks or whether it's some of the Green Bay Packers or some of the Atlanta Falcons or whatever team, and you go up and you put the microphone in front of their face and say, okay, we're going to give you the chance to tell America what all the reasons are as to why you're disrespecting our flag and our country. Go ahead, please. And they're going to go, well, police brutality, yeah, that's one thing. Well, there's just not a fair shake in this country. This black lady that was on TV this morning, a veteran and a mother, and she said, hey, stop acting like victims, blacks. Get out and go to work for it and make something of yourselves.
Exactly. Look at Dr. Ben Carson.
Yes.
He was in the same boat as all those others in the inner city, and he had a mother that loved him and wanted better for him, so she pushed him. Some of these mothers that are in these inner cities, they crying the victim, and when you're a child growing up and all you hear is I'm a victim, what are you going to believe?
Yeah,
when you
absolutely. And you tell me, quickly, I've only got a minute here because I've got to get a weather forecast in. You tell me why today, with more opportunities, more scholarships, more educational opportunities out there to go to any school they want, more job opportunities. Everything is an opportunity. Why are they complaining and saying they're so oppressed? You got to explain that to me.
Well, they've been on a gravy train for so long that they don't know how to do anything for themselves. They feel the government needs to do it for them. So they're oppressed when the government doesn't give them what they want.
Yeah, and here's something else. If anybody's out there listening and starts calling me a racist, better back up and get ready for a real frontal attack, because I get mad about this. I don't care what color, what race, whatever. There are opportunities in this country that are afforded to people more so than anywhere else in the world, and I'm sick and tired of laziness suppressing a work ethic.
Exactly, and if this country's racist, then you tell me why we've had a black DOJ, a black FBI director, a black president.
Yeah.
We've had numerous blacks in high offices.
Yep.
So if this country is racist, there wouldn't be a one.
You got it, buddy. I got to run and do a weather. Thank you so much.
Okay, God bless. Hey, everybody, let's take care of our senior centers this holiday season, okay?
All right, buddy.
And to help them out.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it, as always. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids brings us the weather for this hour with the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup. Oh, make an appointment for a hearing screening today. During Thanksgiving, all the grandkids were around you, and they were telling you about all the things they'd done at school, and you're going, oh, that's great. Yeah, that's nice. And then you turn around and say to your wife, what did they say? Well, listen, get a hearing screening at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room. Make an appointment today at 312-0957. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for the final Monday in November. And here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. We do have a slight chance of morning rain showers. Those are supposed to dissipate by 11 o'clock this morning. Other than that, partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. Breezy, high of 47. Tonight, clear and breezy with a low of 27. Tomorrow, sunny and calm with a high of 45, but that's going to change tomorrow night. We do have a 20% chance of rain or snow showers with an overnight low of 30. That could carry over to Wednesday morning, 30% chance of morning rain or snow showers. High of 37, going to be partly cloudy by the afternoon, and Wednesday evening, mostly clear and 25. That's your Monday morning weather for Zebeth Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, along with Dr. Christine Pickup. Don't forget, Katie Bingham is the new patient care coordinator at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Call for a hearing screening today at 312-0957. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, it goes without even mentioning that no matter when we start talking about race on this program, there are those that only hear what they want to hear. And that really upsets me because they'll call me on my cell phone later in the day, which, by the way, I give out freely, 312-2976. I'm open if you want to call and chew on me. You go right ahead. I wish you had the nerve to do it on the radio. But when you think about America, every one of these athletes went to a various college or university to hone their talents playing a game, football. Now, I would really like to get into, now I'm not saying all, please don't go in that direction. I'd really like to hone the file folders of some of these great million-dollar athletes and find out exactly their course grades, what their major was, what they're doing to perhaps keep an ongoing studies program for when football ends, and what field of endeavor they're going to get into. And, you know, a lot of them probably haven't even thought that far ahead. Football and basketball has been a free ride ticket in this land of opportunity to give and provide them and their families with a pretty doggone good living. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again. Don't you believe that slavery is still very much alive in America? An example is these athletes that make all this money, if they speak out like a conservative would, oh boy, things going to come down around them. Just like the slaves, if they revolted against their owner, they had repercussions. And that's what will happen to these people. So the black people mainly, and white people too, that accept welfare for everything they have absolutely no control.
You know,
they are a slave of the government.
And one thing I think, again, Keith, like I said to Tony a little bit ago, we always have to be very careful and not lump categories into a infinite number and refer to them as all or whatever, because it's not all of them. There's just a selective number of these people that think the government owes them, that police brutality reigns supreme, and that they don't have to work for whatever endeavor they want to finalize in their life. And that's the number. And that could be white, that could be brown, it could be black. It doesn't care what skin color. You've got to get up off your dead butt and go to work and try to be something. And that has nothing to do with a race.
No, it doesn't. And that black person that you talk to, or heard on the news this morning, you can bet your life she had a job.
Absolutely.
And she pays her taxes.
Absolutely.
And she votes.
Absolutely.
And she's a good citizen.
Absolutely. You know, I appreciate your calling back, buddy. Thank you, and have a great day. Stay dry. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Hey, don't forget our major sponsor, and they're telling you to get ready for winter driving, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, where doing the right thing always matters. Oh, there's 7 great locations. They've got all the tires to get you through the snow, the ice, the muck, and the yuck. Ooh, it's coming. You know it is. And be sure and stop in and check out the tires that best fit your wintertime driving. They've got all the tire chains. They've got the best in brake service. They've got the best in front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. I can't say enough about having a good battery on those cold winter mornings. Absolutely. You stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We are going to take a little break and get ready for the news coming up in just a few minutes. But before we do, I want to remind you about what's going on over at, and I can't find the paper. Here it is, Four Paws. My goodness sakes, Four Paws Bed and Bath. And they're located at, of course, let me get the address down here. Deanna, I don't have the address. Four Paws Bed and Bath, their annual Christmas open house, December 9th from 11 to 2. And they're at 370 West 200 South of Rupert. Number to call, 438-4444. Free pictures with Santa Claus, with all the pets and the families, and lots of good food, too. Grand prizes, too. Hey, you get over there, check it out. Great big Christmas celebration at Four Paws Bed and Bath. Christmas open house, and that's going to be on December 9th. Don't miss it. Put it on your calendar and be there with your pets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, let's go to the news from CBS. We'll be back in just a moment. Oh, good morning, and welcome back to hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch on this Monday, November 27th. Glad to have you aboard, and we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and get ready for wintertime driving, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
Oh my goodness, Christmas right around the corner, and if I were you, I'd get ready because you're probably going to have a lot of boxes that are going to be shipped to you and a lot of things going on, and you're going to have a lot of extra garbage. Get on the route service today. At Western Way Services, all you need to do is just give them a call at 734-6969. Western Way Services, they come get your garbage. It's gone. It's out of there. Give them a call, 734-6969. Always at your disposal. Western Waste Services. Really great folks. By the way, too, let's see what else have I got cooking here. I want to remind you, too, about a dear, dear friend of ours, and that's Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. I really want to say thank you to Doug because he's located at 635 21st Street in Heyburn, and he wants to thank all of his customers for all the business they've had, and he appreciates your business. Thank you for making what he does so successful. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, and he's also been a big friend of the Lunch Bunch. God bless him, and thank you, Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Also, real quick, before we get Frosty on the line, I want to say thank you to Joel Heward, his family, and his staff over at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. My. You know, they do so much to help out in the community, and they want you to know They want you to know that if you call the number 436-5636, they are there to serve you always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. When there's the passing of a loved one, they will help and can help you with all the things that all of a sudden in a short period of time you know have to get done, but you don't know what to do. They do, and they can help you. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. Right now, I'm going to get on the phone line with a man that is one of my favorite people to have on the radio, and that's, of course, back in Golden, Colorado, Frosty Woolridge. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, good morning, Zeb, and it's always a pleasure for Mondays for me also for our discussions and really enlightenment and hopefully sharing with listeners across the nation and hopefully a little bit of sanity in this very crazy and high-speed world. So it's always a pleasure. So thank you.
I would imagine, out of friendship, that you probably used your official Zeb at the Ranch knife to cut your tofu turkey.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did. I actually have. I should send you another picture cutting the tofu turkey. Yeah, it works very well.
Hey, listen, I want to compliment you on an excellent article that you just came out with in regards to America's sexual predators, and I think I'll let you kind of give us a thumbnail sketch of why you wrote it and what the content is.
Well, you all know that, and it was so shocking to me, and I bet everybody was shocked out of their minds when you've heard the Harvey Weinstein, and you've heard the Dr. Larry Nassar, the Olympian coach who was sexually molesting, I mean, unbelievable, of all these little 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old gymnasts for the last how many years, a decade at least. But boy, oh boy, when Charlie Rose took the dive, and you all, of course, know that Charlie Rose has been a stalwart there at CBS and the morning show, and he's been at PBS, and I've tried to get on Charlie Rose to interview on the immigration crisis facing America now for 20 years. I've sent him both of my books, and obviously he would not. I even talked to his producers, and they didn't want to have me on the show, and they made sure they didn't. Well, now Charlie Rose is never going to be on another show again. He's probably in the same vein as Lance Armstrong. He's never going to regain his honor for all of his sexual exploits. And also, these people have been giving passes, and foremost among them is Bill Clinton. Former President of the United States was a sexual predator, and he got away with in excess of 40 women who've come up and named him as a sexual predator and harassed them and molested them sexually. And so I felt very strongly about writing this piece, and it's called Harvey Weinstein, Bill Clinton, Dr. Larry Nassar, Charlie Rose, all sexual predators. And beyond all of that, we also have extraordinary violence toward women in this country. I think some of the statistics, and we can go down the line here. We can talk about the chairman of the NPR, Michael Ulrich, and host Jeffrey Tambor. They just stepped down because of sexual predatory practices. Democrats Al Franken and John Conyers in the Congress, one a senator and one a House rep. And John Conyers has been in the House, U.S. House of Representatives for almost 50 years, I think 50 years. And what's more frightening or just so disgusting is that these senators and these congressmen have spent $17 million of our tax dollars to settle hundreds of sexual harassment charges over the last 3 or 4 decades. I mean, they're actually sexually harassing all of their interns, et cetera, and then when they get charges in court, they've used over $17 million of our U.S. taxpayer dollars to either pay them off or pay the lawyers to beat them down. And even Jameis Winston, the pro quarterback for the Buccaneers, he faces rape charges from his college years. How did he get away with it? Well, lots of money from the rich alumni.
Yeah.
How did Bill Clinton get away with it? I mean, even Bill Clinton, he had a 12-year relationship with Jennifer Flowers, who penned a book called Passion and Betrayal. And yet, you know, you have to question, did Bill and Hillary Clinton have a viable marriage? And the answer is they shared a path-to-power relationship based on the deceit of themselves and the public. Nowhere near a marriage based on love, integrity, and trust. And so in the rest of this article, and it's on newswithviews.com, we're talking about the domestic rapes and violence in this country, that a woman starts getting beaten up every 15 seconds in this country. And here's one that just killed me. 3 to 6 women die every day here in the United States from being killed by their husband or significant others. And what really is astounding is that during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, they've had a total in the last 17 years of 6,614 soldiers died in combat. At the same time, 11,766 women suffered death at the hands of their husbands and or boyfriends. And the estimated number of children exposed to spousal violence daily worldwide is over 10 million.
Wow.
This is a disturbing article, and what's going on in this country is very disturbing when it comes to the violence toward women. That's half the human race. And I hope that, and of course, I also go into the fact that Muslims kill 54 women every day throughout the year. It's over 20,000 honor killings, and those honor killings are now here in the United States. And, of course, we have the female genital mutilation, which is an assault and battery of a woman's entire being. And so you'll see from this article that we've got a lot of problems that are been under the radar and completely covered up for the last, well, forever, I would suspect. And how did you feel about that? Because I'm getting literally dozens. In fact, I've got about 4 dozen emails from women thanking me for this article already this morning.
Yeah.
It's only hit one news service website. It's going to be on 20 before the end of the day.
Well, I read it and I highlighted it, and one part of the story that you had written, and Wheels, ride that gain over there, we're getting feedback again. One part of the story, one sentence left me with a questioning look on my face. You said, quote, I, meaning you are at a loss for words or solutions. And really, that hit me pretty hard, because what are the solutions to these problems? What are the solutions to these beatings? What are the solutions to the deaths? What are the solutions to a so-called ideology that wants to go ahead and kill their daughters? I mean, it's pretty hard to come up with solutions.
Well, and I really worked hard on those solutions. And, of course, loss of the basic family unit in this country. And as you all know, 7 out of 10 African-American children are born into this world out of wedlock. I mean, they're illegitimate children. And the husbands, or the fathers, the sperm donors, if you will, are simply not personally accountable or personally responsible. And so you've got all of these kids growing up, and all of these boy children growing up, and they're out there spreading their sperm also with teenage girls, and we have an epidemic and loss of the family for certainly African Americans, and so much of the divorces that are happening around this country, 50% divorce rates. Once that mother and father divorce, the child loses structure and security and a sense of well-being, and they're put into a tailspin for the rest of their lives. And so you have such a loss of the family here, not only just African Americans, but Caucasian Americans, and you're seeing the prolific consequences in anger and a lack of anger management, and you see safe houses across the country for women because the husbands and or the former lover or whatever are beating them up or stalking them.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the stalking statistics, and it's just extraordinary. And so I gave some solutions, but I'm even asking everybody that reads the column to give me more solutions.
Let me interrupt you here.
National crisis that goes way beyond what the sexual predators are doing up there with Bill Clinton or a Charlie Rose or an Al Franken, the senator from Minnesota.
Let me just throw in a couple of things, and there are just two words that I think would also be two very viable solutions. One is a 7-letter word that we've lost in this country, and that's the word respect. And the second word is the omnipotent power that we have abused and chased out of our lives, and that's a 3-letter name of God. Would you agree with that?
You know, and I'm with you on that. As a matter of fact, if you have read Robert Heinlein, the great science fiction writer, whom I've read a lot of his books, Starship Trooper, I Will Fear No Evil, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, and so forth, he was a brilliant writer, and even in the sci-fi realm, he said that the time and when a society begins to break down is when there is a loss of respect. And so you really hit it right there, a loss of respect. And there's no question as to our country being a country of God and the Christian religion and all of us who follow in that realm to create and really make this a successful society. We are losing that aspect of America, and as I've said many times over the years, all because of mass immigration. You now see the Muslims doing everything they can to desecrate Christianity in this country, and their onslaught of Sharia law and the fact that we're allowing it. Although I think up in Minnesota, there was a federal judge that put her hand on the Quran and was sworn in as a federal judge. I've got to figure out whether or not it's true news or not. But I think that Trump has, because she has been promoting Sharia law in her court, he has dismissed her or taken her down. I got to look out more on that. But again, we're fighting to have our country maintain itself with all of this immigration from those who would not ever submit to a U.S. constitutional law, but in fact go after and try to supplant it or displace it with Sharia law, which is the Muslims and the Quran.
Yeah, but one thing more, too, Frosty, that I think you're going to agree totally on this. I blame the primetime TV, the filth, the sleaze, the absolute it's absolutely destitute of any moral value whatsoever in prime time. I have not, and I mean this, sat down and watched any primetime television on the major networks, CBS, ABC, and NBC, for over 3 years because of the sleaze that they're promoting on their TV.
And that's totally agreed. I have to watch some TV just to see what's going on and getting a feel for it. And if you look at all of these sitcoms, they rotate around sexuality, and these women are on these sets, and the come-ons and all that goes with that. It gets down to this blatant sexuality, and that's the crisis. Because and you look at all these video games, and you look at the themes of the movies. I have to say, just last week I saw a fabulous movie with Julia Roberts, and it was driven by the kids, but it's called Wonder.
Yes.
And in this movie, it's a kid that has a disfigured face. Well, I worked for 24 years with such disfigured people when I was a ski instructor for the handicap at Winter Park at the National Sports Center for the Disabled. And my heart went out. Well, anyway, Sandy and I saw the movie, and it's a tearjerker, but it's also about triumph of the family, of supporting the child, of supporting the loved ones around you. I would highly recommend it to anyone to go see Wonder, just Wonder, and about this child. And the movie itself is driven by the kids, not by Julia Roberts. And in the end, it's all about family. If we fail to maintain family and marriages, and the kids have a mommy and daddy, we're headed for some really rough times, because the kind of violence that this article that I just wrote and researched shows means we got an undercurrent of violence in this country toward women that's just unacceptable, and that we've got to come to terms with it.
I totally agree with everything you're saying, but, when you look at the media and you look at the status of today of denigrating the American family, and people aren't going to church like they used to, people aren't involved in their children's lives like they used to, people aren't attending the parent-teachers conferences at the high schools and the elementary schools, really we're fragmentizing ourselves. And then when this happens with the denigration and destruction of women in our country, it's all following a pattern by the liberal left to destroy the inner workings of what made this country great.
You're so correct. And I would add to that, if you see those TV programs like, I think it's Steve Wilkes or Wilkie, there's also, who's that guy in Ohio that, Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's another guy named Cunningham. They have these unbelievably inane and totally insane shows that are all about sex, and they're all about relationships that are just horrible. Even if you look at the King of Queens, or that big heavy-set guy, Kevin somebody, that's back on the program now. That is a dysfunctional marriage. I mean, they're always fighting with each other. They're both it just goes on and on and on. And when you see all of that, and when kids see all of that, they think it's the norm. And when you think that kind of dysfunctional behavior is the norm, then you enact that same norm yourself, even though it's dysfunctional and it's violent and it's simply not a part of a cohesive society. We may have really, with all the movies that are out and all the videos that are out and all of the pornos, you can get porn anywhere at any time. We may be in a lot of trouble. I'm not even sure it's going to be solvable, but I at least put a few thoughts forward and gave some solutions that I thought might be workable.
Absolutely. Now, I've got about 5 minutes left here, and I'm now, at this juncture this morning, going to appoint you as the commissioner of the NFL. Your first job with your signing your name, Frosty Woldridge, on all the footballs is to also figure out how to solve this disastrous mess with the black athletes saying they're oppressed and taking a knee during the national anthem. What would you do?
If they're not going to stand up for our flag, their flag, the United States of America, and all of the freedoms that each one of those players enjoys. If I was the coach, or if I was the head of the NFL, I would direct every team owner and every team manager to allow them to kneel back in the locker room during the U.S. anthem, and then after that they can come out and play on the field, because I am not one to allow or to be a part of the desecration of our anthem and our old glory for any reason on a football field. You can go off and you can demonstrate, go talk to your congressmen, and go talk to your senators, talk to your governors, and do all sorts of kneeling outside of that arena, because that is your right, brought to you by the U.S. military for over 240 years now. But if you lack the kind of respect for our country and every man and woman who's died for that flag and our freedoms, you don't deserve to be on the field when that anthem is playing and the flag is flying.
I think Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, I've never been a Dallas Cowboy fan, but I'm going to say I'm a Jerry Jones fan, because he's standing up and saying none of my Cowboys are going to take a knee or sit during the national anthem. And I believe that he would actually give them a gate and say, you're out of here. No more paycheck, no more multi-million-dollar contract. Go find a job at Kmart. I respect Jerry Jones for standing up to these people.
Well, you do, and I'm seeing some of the coaches and some of the teams, that are actually standing up and they're honoring the flag and so forth. That needs to be a part of how we operate in this country. All of these, whether it's Black Lives Matter or whether it's La Raza, whether it's the Muslim Brotherhood or the Council on American Islamic Relations, all of these aberrant organizations are enjoy such incredible freedom over here when they would destroy our freedom and destroy our ability to function as a civilization. They owe that all to the military and Old Glory and the national anthem and the U.S. Constitution. And if they can't honor that on the field there, then they simply don't deserve to be on the field.
Amen. Frosty Woldridge, time goes much too fast with you every Monday right here on Zeb at the Ranch. God bless you, my dear friend. Go wash that knife off so you can use it to cut the Christmas turkey. Zeb Bell, Frosty Woldridge, thank you.
Thank you, Zeb. Godspeed, my friend.
Okay, take care. Good friend right there. I really enjoy having him on the air. Frosty Woldridge back in Golden, Colorado. Hey, let's remind you, too, that if you have livestock and pets, you want to make sure they're taken care of when they have an injury or maybe a sickness. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. They have the warm hearts for the cold noses. It's a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they love them all. And right now, I've got to note that winter can be a real dangerous time for the dogs. Be careful when your dogs are running near the Snake River. There is a blue-green algae that's growing now, which literally can kill dogs. Watch out for that blue-green algae. Do not let your dogs near it. And if they do, please get a hold of Ark Animal Hospital immediately at 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. Like I said, warm hearts for cold noses. Oh, my goodness sakes, we've got a lot of things going on, including our Christmas wishes. Boy, I just love this time of the year. You know what I'm going to do today, right now? I haven't done this for a year. A year. There's my bells. Yes, sirree. We're going to play those every day. Thank you very much. Want to remind you, too, some of the Christmas wishes from our friends at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, and the number to call, 678-9204. Save on steel buildings with their expertise in manufacturing and contracting. Everything you need under one roof. Streamline Precision, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And Tim and the rest of the crew, 678-9204. Don't forget Dot Foods, 1541 West 27th in Burley, and they say thank you to the Mini-Cassia area for all their support and making Dot Foods the nation's #1 largest food industry redistributor. Absolutely. Great employees, great drivers. Dot Foods, 1541 West 27th in Burley, saying Merry Christmas. And once again, Streamline Precision would like to encourage you to go up to a person in uniform, shake their hand, and say thank you. These men and women put their lives on the line every day so we can live in the best place in the world, and that's America. And also thanks to our FFA and 4-H boys and girls. Great job. 120 South, 100 West of Burley, Streamline Precision, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. You know, I don't have a guest for 9:30 segment, and we did have one, and they called in and said, we can't make it, we're not feeling really good this morning, we got a cold. Well, it kind of left me hanging here, so give me a call, and I'd like to hear, I'm going to take a little survey here this morning. We just put, I say we, Deanne is instrumental in taking care of all the Christmas ornaments, etc. And we just put our tree up. And do you put up a real live, smell good pine tree in your living room or wherever, or do you put up a fake tree? I'm going to take a little survey for this half hour and find out how many of you put up a real, I got a category right here, real or fake Christmas tree. And give me your reasons why. Call me at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Well, I'm waiting for somebody to start off the survey as to what they put up, real or fake. I'm going to tell you about some people that are really real, and that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they've got all the carpeting. They've got all the floor covering. They've got all the vinyl and luxury vinyl planks. They've got it all for you. They've got all the furniture. You do not want to miss what's going on to save you money on furniture and bedroom sets, everything at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland in Burley with Jeff, good old buddy, and LeGrand, Morgan, Hillary, Emily, the whole crew. They can serve you, and they always do, at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More in Burley. You get in there for your Christmas shopping today. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Also want to remind everybody about Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. I mean, literally, they've got everything over there at Let's Ride for you to enjoy the great outdoors. They've got all the 2018 snowmobiles. They've got all the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides and all the accessories. What a great place to shop for your Christmas shopping for the accessories. And they've got a wonderful service department to keep you running. All of this at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturdays, 9 to 4. Yep. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. Caller, is it real or is it fake?
It is fake.
Why?
Well, you know what? I love the smell of a new pine in the living room. There's no doubt about it, I guess. Two things that kind of shoot me towards the fake area. One is the cost every year.
Yeah.
And the other one that's a plus on the fake side is if it dries out, there's less chance of a fire.
Yeah, I can't argue with either one of those things, and I've got some horror stories about what's happened to us in the past. But on the other side of the coin, admit it like me, don't you just kind of like that smell of the pine in your house during the holidays?
You know, Zeb, I do. I really do. The dang cost each year just kind of overrides that. But, you know, I try to buy some of those candles or some of the fragrances that hopefully take the place of that. But there's nothing like the real thing. You got me on that one.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, Merry Christmas to you, and thanks for starting things off this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Now, I'm going to kind of bare our chest here a little bit, my chest a little bit. We had a real live Christmas tree for years while the kids were at home. And I got to tell you, we had some horrific happenings trying to get the real Christmas tree in the stand. And then, of course, you know, we had one of those stands where it had like the 4 screws around the base of the trunk, and you'd tighten this one, and then you'd go to the opposite side and tighten that one, thinking you got it just right, and then you'd tighten the back. And then from tipping forward, you'd tighten the one right in front of you, and then you'd go, I think I got it, let go of the tree now, and then bang, it falls on top of old Dad laying on the floor. And the needles and the sap and everything and the ease of when it's just Mom and I living here now, we went to a fake Christmas tree. I know some people are out there going, oh, no, not you, Zeb. Yes, we went to a fake Christmas tree. What about you? Give me a call. Let me know. I want to get a quick survey for this half hour. How many of you are still buying the real deal, or have you switched over to the fake? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, come on, jump in and help me on this survey. I'd just like to know the percentages as to how many are going with the fake tree or how many are sticking with the real trees. Give me a call, 436-2244. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Zeb. Yeah, you know, for the last 3 years, we've gone out and grabbed a couple of our grandchildren and just gone up in the South Hills and taken some hot chocolate and gone walking through the trees with a saw and found our own tree up there.
I cannot argue with you at all. As a matter of fact, I envy you doing that. I think it's a great experience. I think it brings the family closer together, as long as it's not like Chevy Chase on that movie Christmas Vacation. You bring it home and you got to start hacking 20 feet off of it. But, you know, I admire you for doing that.
No, the kids look forward to it every year, you know, so we're going to be headed up this weekend again. Last couple of years we've been, you know, I've been like knee deep and they've been waist deep in snow, but looks kind of dry up there this year. Well, maybe a little muddy, but
Well, I'll tell you what, have a great time, and may I extend to you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you very much. That's nice to do that with the kids and go up there with the hot chocolate and everything. Man, if I was waist deep in snow on crutches, I'd be there till next spring. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's fake, but it's homemade. It's not store-bought.
Now, wait a minute. I got to make sure I understand. It's fake, but it's not really because it's homemade. What in the world do you mean?
Well, my wife is quite creative, and she made the Christmas tree.
I see. So
She took a tomato cage, turned it with the point up, tied them together, and then she wraps it with the garland and the lights and the tinsel on it.
How big is this thing?
Oh, it stands probably 5 foot.
Really?
About 5 foot.
I'll bet it's kind of pretty. Send me a picture of that.
I will.
I've never heard of such a thing, but I know your wife is really creative with all of the different things that she brings to Lunch Bunch and everything, but I'd never heard of that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's been busy this year. She's made probably 90% of all the Christmas gifts we're giving the kids.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen now, so I'm going to have to put your call under fake just to get my survey correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, now, don't go out and buy her a fake Christmas present.
Uh-oh. Too late.
No. All right, Doug. God bless you, man. Thanks. Hey, give me a call. Let me know. I got 2 fakes and 1 real so far as trees are concerned. And give me a call. Let me know your reasoning on this. That gentleman that called a moment ago, though, about taking the kids up hot chocolate and everything and chopping down the tree. Oh, man, that is the Christmas spirit. And 2 things that I really relish watching during the Christmas holidays is the movie Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase and then A Christmas Carol. I love those 2 movies. I've only seen them like 9,370 times, but I just absolutely enjoy that. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I have to tell you, way back in 1996, in December, I saw a cartoon in the paper. And if you can imagine now, it says, I never expected to see the day I could reach the top of a $75 Christmas tree. So imagine what they are today. So therefore, go to the hills and get your own.
So you're a believer in the real deal.
Yes, I am. And I'll have to tell you another quick story. Back in the 50s, I was working on a ranch out of Prescott, Arizona, and there were no Christmas trees available. So, of course, and this is not new, people do this all, I took a sagebrush, and I didn't have any decorations either, but I did have a little jewelry, a few earrings and pearls and things, so that was my Christmas tree that year.
And I'll bet you never forgot it because it really made an impression on you.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Boy, we're tied. Fake or real Christmas trees? And give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We had a circumstance happen, it's been at least 10 years ago. I'll tell you that in a moment. But right now, are you real or are you fake when it comes to Christmas trees? Good morning.
Yeah, Zeb, I love the fresh trees and new trees and stuff like that. I like it better than fake, but I do have a fake. One thing that I found out when I went to my brother's house for Thanksgiving last week, I happened to catch their news. Now, I don't know about what it's like price-wise around here, but like down around Ogden, Salt Lake, Logan, down in that area, fresh trees are going for $80 a tree.
Wow.
There's a shortage, and I didn't really hear what they said about what was making the shortage, what caused it, and what have you, but $80 that's just absolutely insane.
Well, my goodness sakes, and you take that with an inflated price going up every year, and then you really don't know how fresh they are. You get it home, and you got an $80 tree that stands there and gets naked all of a sudden because it sheds all of its needles.
Exactly. But that's the biggest reason I think that we ended up getting a fake is because we've had bad luck on our fresh trees, dropping the needles quick enough, and we've done all the things we needed to do as far as trying to maintain for the needles to stay on the tree longer and what have you. But still, by the time, maybe mid-December and what have you, then start dropping needles and things like that. And it was starting to get a hassle.
Yeah.
And with just me and my wife mainly, and my kids are grown up too, we just felt like that was the way to go.
Well, I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for calling in and sharing with me.
Zeb, you do too.
All right, thank you. I never will forget, like I said, about 10 years ago, Deanna and I went down and got this Christmas tree. It was about 3 weeks before Christmas. And we came home and I cut off a little bit of the end so that, like I've been told, the water will be absorbed easier into the tree. Hold on, caller. I'll be right there, I promise. And we put it up on the stand, and we got the lights on and everything, and not more than 5 days later, you were lucky to find a branch on that tree that had 10 needles. They were just coming off of there like you shook the tree or something. And we had to go get another Christmas tree. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I think Christmas tree debacles are the funniest stories of the year, but they are really truthful, too. I was raised in a great big family in a tiny little house, and my dad was always looking for the cheap. And so one of my brothers, who is really inventive, said, hey, we're surrounded by all kinds of lush-looking sagebrush out here in our neighborhood. Why don't we go cut off a sagebrush and bring it home? Oh, well, that sounded so great. We thought we would do that. And so my dad and my brothers went to pick out the sagebrush, and they forgot how small our house was with 8 kids in it, and how crowded sometimes things are. But anyway, they thought it this impressive sagebrush, and they cut it off and brought it home. And my mother nearly had a heart attack, but she thought that was cool that they did that, and so she let them in. And trying to find a place to put this thing and how to put it in something to make it stand up. It was so funny. And after about 3 days, that sagebrush sunk itself out of our
Really?
And I think we just ended up using something else for a Christmas tree and put that out in the front yard until we could burn it up.
I hear what you're saying, and I've heard people tell me about snakes coming in on the trees. I saw it like in the movie with Chevy Chase, Christmas Vacation, a squirrel coming into the house. But most people that buy Christmas trees, and I'm guilty of this, you go to a Christmas tree lot and you buy a tree thinking that tree is going to fit in a certain spot, and you come home and the first thing you do is got to take the saw and you got to start cutting because, man, it's 10 times bigger than you thought it was.
Yeah, it looks a lot smaller out amongst all of the big trees. But anyway, I think everybody in your listening audience probably has a story. But don't go and get sagebrush.
Okay, God bless you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love that lady. Thank you. Hey, I got to do a quick commercial and a weather forecast, and then we'll take some more calls, and love to hear from you. But are you putting up a fake Christmas tree or a real Christmas tree? By the way, let's see what's on the list here right now. Senator Kelly Anthon, this man really cares about Idaho and cares about his constituents, and he wants to take the time to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And right after the first of the year, of course, they'll be up at our legislative session, and he's working for you. Senator Kelly Anthon from Rupert wishes you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Also, real fast, I want to remind you about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, so much more. Please give them a call at 436-4424 and let them serve you. They're very dedicated and responsive to your needs. Give them a call, make the appointment, and they will help you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, 436-4424. Real or fake? Give me a call. Let me know what you're putting up for this Christmas. Christmas tree in your home. We've been using the same Christmas tree. How many years we had that tree now, Deanna? About 9 or 10 years. And to be quite frank with you, it's wearing out a little bit from all the hassle of putting it in the box, taking it out of the box, putting it in the box, taking it out of the box over the last 10 years. I'm going to have to break down next year and buy a new one. Hey, let's have a weather real quick, and then I'll take some more of your calls. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company accountants, CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The very best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, payroll services, retirement planning, very important. They can help you. And 2 locations to serve you in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget the name. These are the professionals serving you. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for the final Monday in November. And here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. We do have a slight chance of morning rain showers. Those are supposed to dissipate by 11 o'clock this morning. Other than that, partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. Breezy, high of 47. Tonight, clear and breezy with a low of 27. Tomorrow, sunny and calm with a high of 45, but that's going to change tomorrow night. We do have a 20% chance of rain or snow showers with an overnight low of 30. That could carry over to Wednesday morning, 30% chance of morning rain or snow showers. High of 37, going to be partly cloudy by the afternoon, and Wednesday evening, mostly clear and 25. That's your Monday morning weather for Zeb at the Range.
I appreciate it, Gina. Don't forget it's time to get your 1099s and W-2s out and tax planning before the end of the year. Get a hold of our friends and your friends. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company with offices in Burley and Rupert, bringing you the weather. Oh, my goodness. Come on, give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What about it? You put up a real tree, go up and cut it, and then bring it home and size it for the living room, and then go, oops, we bought one way too big? Or do you buy a fake tree and just put it up every year? And Deanne does most of it. God bless her. She is really getting into the Christmas spirit and everything and doing all the decorating here in the house. And we had a couple of our grandsons come over and help us with the outdoor lighting. Neither one of us, Deanna or I, like to get up on those ladders anymore and go, whoa, 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 easy, easy, easy. And then we let the grandsons come over and help us hang all the lights. But give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I remember one Christmas that there was no way that I should have bought this tree because of the trunk. It had a trunk on it that was, man, it was all gnarly, and it was huge, and it was out of round and everything. And I bought that doggone tree home, and we had one of those old Christmas. How many of you have had those Christmas stands where you, like I said earlier, the 4 screws in the stand, and you stick the tree in there, and then supposedly it's supposed to be so easy to tighten up a screw here, tighten up a screw there, and then get it straight, and then to keep it from tipping forward or backward, tighten up the other 2. And we could not get that tree to work. And I took the saw, and we started hacking, and we started cutting. And then I took my little hatchet and cut off some of the branches and started whittling that down. Finally, we ended up where I had to take some fishing line, some monofilament fishing line, and we had to jerry-rig that tree and tie it to a little hook in the ceiling to keep that son of a gun from tipping over. That's one of the reasons why I went to a fake tree. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, by the way, I told you about this earlier this morning. Put this on your calendar right now. Monday, December 11th, there's going to be a great big stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. You don't want to miss this. I mean, they're going to have a lot of ripping good cows. They're going to have 200 young cows, 150 middle-aged cows, and cows of all ages there. And you you better call for consignments. If you got some cows you want to put in this sale, you give them a call at 431-5735 right now. Or let me make sure that's right. Yeah, they got the number wrong in the book. 5735 is the number to call. You can get a hold of Cade Rogge, Merv May, and Lance Udy. They are taking consignments now for that big December 11th stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock. Don't you miss it on December 11th. All right, calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yeah, the joys of getting underneath there and trying to line that tree up in that stand, and you get all full of that sticky sap. I hated that stuff. And then you get it all tightened up, and then you put the lights on, and you have to worry about whether it's going to start on fire, it's dry, you keep stoking the water to it all the time. I guess I never thought I would say this because I love real Christmas trees. But this fake one is really easy to take care of. Give me a call. Let me know. You know what? We're dead tied right now. Yeah, absolutely. 3 for real, 3 for fake. Somebody break the tie. Tell me what you think. Are you going to put up a real one or a fake one? And if you already decorated, I don't mind starting way before Thanksgiving. I just love Christmas decorations with all the different nativity scenes and everything. I think we've got in this house probably, without exaggeration, between 12 and 15 different nativity scenes. I enjoy that. Deanne's got a whole bunch of them out in the other room. Call me, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. By the way, too, Representative Fred Wood cares about you and your family, and he enjoys serving the state of Idaho, and he wishes you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Here's a man that has served this area and is very proud of the job that he's done in our legislature. Representative Fred Wood, wishing you and your family a blessed and happy Merry Christmas. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate that. Call, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Zeb. My tree is fake, and it's already decorated, and it's beautiful.
You know, what changed you about going from a real tree to a fake tree? What happened in your life that you decided to go fake?
Well, when I was a newlywed, we used to go up and chop our own tree, and we always got a pinyon pine, and I hated it. And then as we got children, we would go up to Otley's, up to Elba, and buy one of their beautiful balsams. It was so easy to decorate, and I loved it. But then I just got this wild hair, as my kids got older, that I wanted a flock tree. So then I started, we'd still go get that balsam tree, and I'd flock it. But I had to do it myself outside, and that became a pain in the butt. And so as I got a little older, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. And so I bought a fake tree that's flocked. I'm on my third one because they last. Well, the first one we had to put lights on it, but the next two were pre-lit. And life just became much easier for me.
I agree with you.
That's why I did it. I have all our children live out of state. It's much easier for us to go to their houses than for them to load up and come to our house with grandchildren.
There you go.
It's life has to get easier as you get older.
I agree with you.
I'm not admitting I'm getting older, but some people say I am.
All right. Well, me too, but thank you for calling. I got one other caller before the news, and may I say to you, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas to you and everyone listening.
Oh, thank you. Caller, real quick, I've got exactly 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I go for a fake tree because I'm too old to go get a fresh one.
I'm in your ballpark. I agree with you.
That's the whole sense right there. It's got the lights on it and everything.
There you go. Hey, listen, Merry Christmas regardless of what kind of a tree you have. It's good to hear from you. Thank you.
And same to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you much. I got to get out of here for a few minutes. Thank you for calling and helping me out. We had a guest scheduled, and they couldn't be on the air with us this morning. But it worked out pretty doggone good. We heard all about your fake and real Christmas trees. And the bottom line, please have a Merry Christmas. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Okay, here we go, hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning. Good morning. Brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and also some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services. Get on the route service, get rid of your garbage. Call them at 734-6969. Hey, don't forget on Thursdays we have a special segment called School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by 2 wonderful sponsors, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. Don't forget it is the best place to buy a baby or birthday gift and free gift wrapping, and get ready for Christmas shopping right there at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, life-saving colonoscopies, and of course cataract surgery, carpal tunnel surgery, much, much more. Give them a call and find out how they can save you money at 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and it's been a long time, too long, since I've had this gentleman on the phone. I really enjoy having him and his opinions on various subjects. He's worked on President Trump's transition team, and he is the senior policy advisor for America First Policies. Good morning, Curtis Ellis. How are you?
Oh, great. Great to be back with you, Zeb. It's been too long.
It has been. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
I had a wonderful Thanksgiving, had a wonderful campaign with Donald Trump, a wonderful transition with President-elect Trump, and just a wonderful time watching this administration. Hey, I got to tell you something, though, Zeb. Since we last talked, I have been in Idaho.
Really?
And I went to the Magic Valley, and then I went up and I saw the eclipse, the total eclipse in Idaho. What a beautiful, beautiful corner of the country you live in.
Well, I certainly wished you would have called. You could have had brunch on the back porch with Mom and I as we watched a partial eclipse down here in the Magic Valley, but we could have maybe had a 1 or 2 or maybe more adult beverages while we watched the sun fade away.
Yeah, I refueled. I bought gas in Shoshone, or is it Shoshone? I'm not quite sure.
Shoshone, yes.
It out there.
Uh-huh.
And that's as close as I got to where you live. But I saw some of those incredible springs. I stayed down in Billingsley Creek, beautiful little Billingsley Creek Inn. It's a nice little, some cabins on the Snake River there, down in the gorge, and then went up into the Sawtooth to see the eclipse. Beautiful country you have there.
Well, thank you very much. And next time, make it a point to give us a call, and we'll give you kind of a more guided tour. We appreciate it. Hey, by the way, I got to ask you, Curtis, what about this gas deal? You know, I'm a little bit more than miffed that diesel is up over in most places well over $3 a gallon. We're seeing a major surge in gas prices. Why?
Well, it's really crazy. It makes no sense. We're awash in gas. We're producing more oil and crude oil than ever before. We, the United States, and the world. The crude oil prices are low. It used to be $100 a barrel. Now they're lucky if they can hit $50. Part of the reason is we've got this renewable fuel standard. 12 years ago, Congress, in its infinite wisdom, decided they were going to promote the use of ethanol, which is made out of corn. And let's skip over the argument as to whether ethanol is an efficient use of corn or not, or whether it takes more energy to produce a gallon of ethanol than you get out at the back end by burning it. We'll skip over that. That's a whole debate, which is valid, but we don't have the time to go into that now. But they decided we're going to require every gallon of gasoline and diesel to be blended with ethanol. And then the government sets a quota of how many billions of gallons of ethanol are going to have to be added to the nation's fuel supply, the vehicle fuel supply, every year. But then they didn't just make it straightforward like, okay, this is how much ethanol, you make it, you burn it any way you want, that's that. Sell it, export it, I don't care, just so long as we push that much ethanol out onto the market. Instead, they came up with this really complicated credit trading system, like the cap and trade thing they tried to do with coal and with carbon dioxide gas. You were going to cap the amount and then come up with this paper credit trading system so the Wall Street boys can get involved and start trading make-believe carbon dioxide credits. Well, that's what they did with ethanol. They come up with this paper credit trading system where the Wall Street traders and speculators have now cornered the market on these paper credits, these ethanol credits. Every gallon of ethanol that's produced is assigned a number, and then if you can't actually buy ethanol and blend it, because a lot of these small independent refineries, they don't have the wherewithal to blend fuels. They do a great job of refining crude oil into diesel and gasoline and kerosene and everything else, but they don't have the mixing vats and the blending facilities to start adding ethanol in. So what they have to do under the law is buy these paper credits to say that they have blended ethanol. Even though they've never seen a gallon of ethanol, they wouldn't know it if it bit them. They wouldn't know it from a fifth of vodka if they saw it, because they don't deal in ethanol. So they deal in these paper credits. What's happened? Wall Street got involved and bid up the price of these paper credits because they have a captive market. And we've got the oil refiners now that are spending more on these ethanol credits than they are spending on actually making diesel fuel and gasoline. Mm-hmm. And that is driving up the price. It's just crazy. It was never meant to be this way. And we're paying the price at the gas pump and at the diesel pump.
Is this a problem that's going to be exacerbated and increased over the months and years to come? Is it a short-term problem? Or is this something that is going to take over our lives with always inflated prices?
Well, that's the $64 million question. It could be fixed very easily. The Environmental Protection Agency could decide there's two routes it could go. Either, how about the people that make and blend ethanol? We hold them responsible for using the ethanol instead of making the independent refiners. Or the simple problem, the simple solution would be, right now we only count the ethanol that's sold and used within the United States toward meeting the goal, right? EPA sets a goal of X billion gallons of ethanol have to be made and used by American producers. Well, if you allowed the export of American ethanol to count towards that X billion gallons that the government sets, that would solve the problem right there. You wouldn't have this wide discrepancy between what the market can bear, which is driving up the price of these paper credits. So you would still, and by the way, if they allowed American-made ethanol to be exported and to count toward the goal of producing and using X billion gallons of ethanol a year, the corn farmers would still be good, right? It would actually increase the market for their corn ethanol.
Right.
So it wouldn't hurt them. It wouldn't drive down the price of corn. It wouldn't drive down the price of ethanol. And it would actually help our trade deficit. So there's a very simple solution here. But the problem, I can't help but thinking, is that the guys on Wall Street who are making money with this paper scheme by pushing paper around, they like it just the way it is. So we have a solution that would not hurt the corn farmers. It would help the refinery workers, because right now they're laying off. The small independent refiners are the ones getting it in the neck. They can't afford the cost of compliance, and so they're laying off workers and they're closing independent refineries. It would help them, it would help the corn farmers, and it would help you and me because prices would go down at the gas pump.
Right.
So there is a solution. There is a solution without upsetting anybody's apple cart. maybe some of the speculators on Wall Street would have to find another way to gouge us, but they wouldn't be able to do it with ethanol anymore.
Well, let me ask you this question, and I think you and I have talked about this in the past. I myself personally have had this problem where the ethanol enhanced gasoline has caused damage to the engines of lawnmowers and four-wheelers, and it happened to both in my case. And with the increase of more ethanol, which is going to add more heat to the gasoline and destroy a lot more of these engines, what about lawsuits? Can we, the American public, start lawsuits against these people for the damage to our goods?
Well, you raise a really good point. This is what's called the ethanol wall. You're exactly right. Most engines cannot burn ethanol, or they can only burn a small amount. As you increase the amount of ethanol that you add to the gasoline, it damages the engines. It corrodes the engines. It burns too hot. It damages the engines in automobiles as well as lawnmowers. So there's really only so much ethanol that can be pushed onto the market. You hit a wall. The market cannot absorb it. The gasoline, nobody can buy and burn the gasoline if there's too much ethanol in it. So while the government on one side is saying you have to add more and more and more ethanol to the gasoline, to the nation's fuel supply, there's no demand for it. There is no way to use it, which is why we need the government to say, well, go ahead and export that ethanol. You can export that somewhere else. Now, to your question, can we sue? Well, I don't know who you'd sue, because you can't sue the government. That's just one of those things, sovereign immunity. It goes back to ancient times where you couldn't sue the king. You can't basically sue the government for doing what the government does, unfortunately, because they sure do deserve to be sued on a lot of things. But they say you can't fight City Hall. And the other thing about interesting point is that some of the newer cars can burn a higher amount of ethanol. So in a way, what the government is doing with this stuff is with pushing this ethanol, it's forcing people to retire their old cars and buy new cars, and they'll probably end up buying Japanese cars. So it's really, it's messed up on so many levels. It really is a misguided policy. It's not helping anybody, and it's hurting Americans.
Well, let me ask you this question then, and I don't know what it's like in your particular area as far as gasoline sales are concerned, but here at various stations we can pull in and find ethanol-free gasoline for the use in four-wheelers, lawnmowers, etc. It's a higher price. Are they going to start regulating that and taking that off the market, in your opinion?
I don't know. To be honest, I could make up an answer, but I don't want to mislead your viewers. It's interesting. In the big cities, because I'm on the East Coast, and in all the cities, you can't get ethanol-free gasoline. It's part of the, clean air regulations. I mean, that's the whole point of burning ethanol. It's supposed to lower the air pollution in the wintertime and whatnot. And it's also supposed to make us, that's the other thing, is the ethanol is supposed to wean us off our dependence on Middle Eastern oil. Well, thanks to fracking, we produce so much oil in this country, we're not dependent on Middle Eastern oil anymore anyway. So the whole ethanol program, it's one of those government programs that's outlived its usefulness, but that's another matter. I don't believe that they have plans on phasing out no ethanol gasoline. That's to the best of my knowledge. I can find out and get back to you on that.
Let me ask you, Curtis, though, this whole thing just reeks of environmental movements, whether it's the Sierra Club, it doesn't make any difference who it is, that they're going to get their way one way or the other to basically get rid of the fossil fuel burning engine. And this is another step in that direction. Am I wrong?
It is, and it's interesting that the whole ethanol scheme is a little weird because, as I said, we're no longer dependent on Middle Eastern oil. There's a whole debate as to whether the ethanol takes more energy to produce than than it actually. It takes more ethanol. It takes more energy to make a gallon of ethanol than you get out of it at the back end when you burn it. And the whole idea was that, well, actually, we're going to move away from making ethanol out of corn, and we're going to make it out of, algae or grass clippings or corn husks or, potato skins or something. I don't know what. That's the advanced biofuels. And this is, another blue sky, pie in the sky deal. But since all of that's happened now everybody's looking at electric cars. So it's not even, we want to get away, or this is now the plan, is to get away from the internal combustion engine entirely. So 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they said, well, we're going to replace gasoline with ethanol, and we're going to replace gasoline with a liquid fuel made out of grass clippings. Well, now they're saying, let's get rid of the internal combustion engine entirely, and we'll have electric vehicles. And that's what the Chinese and a lot of the researchers and engineers are working on. So, again, we are now stuck with an amazingly slow government that is trying to still, 30 years later, implement a vision from 30 years ago that may be outdated before it's even imposed.
Absolutely. When you talk about electrical cars, I have a little bit of knowledge on this subject. The idiocy of trying to impose an electric car basis here in this country is the fact that they have denigrated the electrical grids in this country by cutting off coal and making them, or wanting to make them, with natural electricity of the wind turbines or solar. And for anybody that wants to stick their neck out and get an electrical car and try to go from here to Massachusetts or here to Florida or wherever, that's complete lunacy. It's not going to happen. The charging stations are very, very unreliable as to whether there's going to be a source of power for them or not. I think the leadership in this country has got to show leadership and say, we need to get back to the basics, and electric is not the way to go.
That's very interesting. Look, there are so many examples of where you've got academics and these blue sky environmentalists, and don't get me wrong, I like clean air, I like clean water. I don't want my kids to have their bloodstream polluted by somebody's waste that they've dumped into the air or the water. But you've got these feel-good, do-gooder environmentalists who have no understanding of engineering, no understanding of how anything works, and they say, well, gee whiz, wouldn't it be nice if all of our electricity came from the sun and came from the wind? And, yeah, gee, that would be nice. So let's make a law to make that happen. Well, you can't make a law to make things happen if they're physically and scientifically and technologically impossible. Passing a law is not just going to make it happen. The deal with electricity is you need a stable source.
That's right.
To fire the boilers. The wind is not a stable source. Some days the wind doesn't blow. You can even natural gas. What if you can't stockpile natural gas? The way you can stockpile a big mountain of coal right outside the boiler. You can do that. And so if demand goes up, you can meet the demand. Even, as I say, natural gas, burns cleaner than coal, and it can be a source of power. It can fire your boiler, but it doesn't have the stability that coal does. And solar, again, these are uncertain, unstable, and very expensive means of generating electricity. Maybe electric vehicles will work in Manhattan, where you're going 3 miles or 5 miles.
Right.
Maybe at some point it'll work in a highly densely populated area between Boston and Washington, D.C., where you've got, you're talking maybe 500 miles, and you've got close to, the far side of 50 million people living there, right? But when you get out into the great open expanses of the West, where it's 50 miles between cities, and that's close by, it doesn't make a lot of sense necessarily to have electric vehicles. And you're right, the whole grid, the whole electrical grid, the power generating system, you have to examine the whole thing from top to bottom. And the charging stations and everything involved is you have to have some coherent plan to do this. I can see people in California. I know people who own electric cars. They live in Southern California. They have a lot of money, and it's kind of a status symbol to have an electric car. And they look sharp. It's great. And I know this guy. He lives half the time in California, and then he's a professor down at Princeton, and he has an electric car. You know how he gets his car from California to Princeton? He has it shipped. He does not drive it. He can't recharge it.
Let me ask you one quick question. I've got a minute left, so keep the answer short. Now that we've seen a year of Donald Trump, you know the man, you worked on his campaign, etc., his transition team. Your thoughts, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being good. Where's he at on the first year?
I'd say he's at a 9.5. He's gotten a lot done. He's not getting credit for it in the media. He's cutting back regulations. He's renegotiating the trade deals. He's getting energy, unleashing our energy, and he is now working on the tax reform. He's appointing great people to the judgeships. He's doing a lot of good stuff despite implacable opposition from even within his own party.
Absolutely. Senior Policy Advisor for America First Policies, Curtis Ellis, always welcome on this show. God bless you, man, and Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to you. Great to be back with you.
All right. Thank you much. I enjoy having him on the program. Curtis Ellis does a great job, and we'll have him back in the near future. Let's see, what have I got to do now? Oh, I've got to remind you about something really special. Listen to this. Merry Christmas from Denny's, America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley, and Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Why together? Well, I'm going to tell you. All you need to do is get into Denny's and have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and then when you go up to the counter, sign your name on the receipt and your telephone number. Why? Because you might win a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner, compliments of Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, and Denny's Restaurant on December 14th. We're going to have the drawing at their great big Christmas party on the air from 8 to 11 on the 14th. So get in there today. Merry Christmas from Denny's and Lee's Furniture. Get in there, eat and enjoy, and sign your receipt with a phone number. You might win that beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner from Lee's Furniture. Don't miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Also, real quick, I want to remind you, too, about some of our Christmas sponsors, and they are including Senator Kelly Anthon, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, and Representative Fred Wood. All three, and I'm going to choke here in a minute, so stand by. Better now. All three would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and they thank everybody for all the support, and they will continue to work for you in the future. Thank you very much. Also, the Burley Area Merchants Association, and don't forget, starting on December 4th, starting at 6 p.m. along Overland Avenue, Santa's going to arrive by a fire truck and is going to be escorted by the parade. Free hot chocolate and donuts at Centennial Park. Holy cow! All hosted by the Burley Area Merchants Association. And parade entry information, call Sonia at 670-2408. Okay? Thank you, Bama, Burley Area Merchants Association. Right now, we're going to send it back over to our main studios. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Hey, welcome back, and thank you. We've got some real quick Merry Christmas wishes from Snake River Auto Body and Paint at 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. Ken, Dan, the whole crew, I'm telling you, they are the best. I know they've done a lot of work for me. Snake River Auto Body and Paint in Twin Falls, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Along with Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Don't forget Tim and the rest of the crew. They do it all: excavation, underground piping, and utilities, trenching, all of this and and more. They are the experts. Streamline Precision, wishing you a Merry Christmas. And my good old buddy Steve and the entire crew at Pickett Equipment Company in Burley, 976 East Main. All the farmers in the area, thank you for another great year. And don't forget the best of equipment from Pickett Equipment. And that's, of course, 976 East Main in Burley. Merry Christmas. And last but not least, a Merry Christmas wish from the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, 1177 7th Avenue in Hayburn. And don't forget, coming up on December 7th, the annual Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce Christmas Party, open house from 4 to 6 p.m. Lots of fun for you with the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Merry Christmas. Woo! Let's go to the phone line right now. And my next guest waiting in the wings is a national spokeswoman and co-founder of MediaEqualizer.com. Here is Melanie Morgan. Good morning, Melanie. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And can I be among the first to say Merry Christmas, Deb?
God bless you, and right back at you. Merry Christmas. This is my favorite time of the year. Yes, we had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and now I'm looking forward to all the festivities of Christmas.
No, you know what? There's so much going on in the world today. I just hope I remember to unpack the lights and get them up before January 2nd.
You know, we're involved in that right now as we speak, as a matter of fact. Now, tell me a little bit about MediaEqualizer.com. What does that mean? What do you do?
Well, MediaEqualizer.com is a media analysis website. We post stories that most of the mainstream media won't touch with a 10-foot pole. We are also part of the larger Media Quality Project, and it is the Media Quality Project that is traveling to Washington, D.C. You're among the very first, Deb, to know about this because we've just started talking about it a few minutes ago. We are organizing some of the Clinton victims and accusers of Hillary and Bill Clinton, Juanita Broderick and Kathleen Willey and Paula Jones, and we're all coming to Washington, D.C. to confront Senator Al Franken and John Conyers, as well as Republican of Texas Joe Barton, demanding resignations. But more importantly, what we're trying to communicate in a nationally broadcast news conference that's going to be taking place on Wednesday is that we have got to stop this slush hush fund of $17 million that goes to pay out secret claims made against congressmen and senators with taxpayer dollars. It's shocking in 2017 that we have this kind of slush fund available. It is disgusting. It's got to stop, and that's what we're there to do, as well as to demand resignations of these unbelievably inappropriate men on Capitol Hill.
You know, Melanie, let me ask you an obviously naive question because I haven't done my homework on this, but where, who, and how did this slush fund start in the first place?
Apparently it's been going on for about 15 years from what we've been told. The existence of it was revealed by San Mateo County Congresswoman Jackie Spear, as well as Virginia's Barbara Comstock last week before the Thanksgiving holiday. In this great big pot of witch's brew, apparently all of this money has been spent on not only congressional sexual harassment complaints as well as assault, but for congressmen and women, but for their staffers, some of their chiefs of staff or others who have engaged in sexually inappropriate behavior, whether it's harassment or assault. They've been covered by this slush fund. So it has been going on for about 15 years, but it's been kept so secret that nobody knew about it. And that's unacceptable to the American people. It's the people's house. It's our money. We deserve to know if there is a complaint that has been lodged and if it's been adjudicated, and if so, who's getting paid for what.
Well, let me ask you this. Somebody like John Conyers, that I think has been long past turned out to pasture at 88 years old. He should have been voted out of office. But irregardless of that, what does he do? Does he go to the fund or whoever the keeper of the fund is and say, oh, boy, I got a couple of women that are after me. Let's give them about $500,000 each, and then they'll shut up. Is that basically what they've been doing?
Well, we don't really know. Captain Underpants did, in fact, parade around his office wearing nothing but his tighty-whities. And the woman who made the complaint against him, apparently one of his staffers, went to the ethics committee And, you know, it goes through this mysterious labyrinthine process that nobody will talk about. We don't know what criteria they use for the payoffs. We don't know who has been involved in the payoffs. We don't know if there's an expiration date. The only thing that we really do know is that in some of these cases, the women are forced to sign non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, in order to get paid off. Many of them say that the procedure is so complicated and bizarre and weird that they just give up, and so they don't speak about it. This is why some of the women have not come forward over the years, because they have been fired, they've been blackballed, and they've been kept off Capitol Hill if they do make any kind of public comments about the inappropriate, wildly inappropriate behavior that goes on.
Let me ask you this, and I want to reverse this a little bit and flip the nickel over and look at the other side for a minute. In the case of Judge Roy Moore, now, in this country, and bear with me, I'm not taking any sides on this, Melanie, but in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. And with allegations flying around and no real substantial proof, this is also a weapon against a lot of politicians with just innuendos and allegations, is it not?
Yes, it is, and that is a great point. You know, and nobody deserves to be tarred with a brush if they are innocent. But the fact of the matter is they need to have a process in place that's public and transparent, because this is the people's house. Congress belongs to all of us in America, and not just to some political elite individuals who want to hide misbehavior. In the case of Judge Roy Moore, you know, there are some very shaky allegations there, and every single day it seems like some of the credibility of the accusers has been challenged. I don't know who's right on that. I don't know who's wrong on that, but I'm talking about, and the reason why we are going to Washington is to talk about the admitted behavior of Captain Underpants, John Conyers, of Senator Al Franken. I was one of the individuals that he stalked and harassed. I made my story public after Leanne Tweeden, who is a KABC news anchorwoman, went public with her story. These are stories that I know to be true, that have been vetted. Kathleen Willey, obviously, Juanita Broaddrick. Nobody has ever been able to discredit their stories. And, in fact, they have remained consistent over the years. So we feel that they're very credible spokespeople to talk about John Conyers, Al Franken, and Joe Barton.
You know, really, when you start talking about this cesspool of people, whether it's Al Franken or whether it's Conyers or whomever, it kind of makes one step back and look at the entirety of the picture of the Senate, the House, etc., and all that's going on the Potomac. How deep is this cesspool, and how many more?
Well, what we know for sure is that $17 million worth of payments has been made to men and women, presumably. We don't know because the list of who these individuals are is secret. So I think that from what I've been told, there are going to be more bombshell explosions coming this week. We are coming to Washington from all across the country, from where I live in San Francisco to Little Rock, Arkansas, where Paula Jones and where Juanita Broaddrick live, in that area, Kathleen Willey from Virginia. We're going to Washington at a very interesting juncture in history. And, Zeb, I have to tell you, who knows what's going to happen between now and Wednesday. Al Franken has refused to resign. He said he came back and into the public domain yesterday with a WCCO interview to Esme Murphy saying he does not intend to step down. He says he's not going to make any excuses. He's embarrassed and he's ashamed, but he doesn't really remember anything. I mean, he's never responded publicly at all to what I have accused him of. He hasn't responded to Leanne Tweeden, other to say he was apologizing if he made her feel bad. Sorry, not sorry. That's not going to cut it, not in 2017 and not with me and not with any of these other women.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, you're from that area of San Francisco and California. Nancy Pelosi basically this weekend stood up, pardon me, and really paid a tribute to John Conyers and others. What are your thoughts about Nancy Pelosi?
Well, I think she certainly blew her Me Too moment. There's no question that she got garbled in the Democrat message. I mean, there are talking points out there, and she didn't take the time to prepare herself. She called John Conyers an icon. He's 88 years old. He has been involved in terrible behavior, according to his own staff people and liberal Democrats like Melanie Sloan of the liberal watchdog group Ethics and Responsibility in Government. So it's puzzling to me why the speaker, who is constantly referred to the Republicans' war on women, won't take any responsibility for her own group. She should have forced John Conyers out a long time ago. Presumably, as Speaker of the House, when she was Speaker, she should have known what was going on, but she claimed this same kind of vague, fuzzy memory amnesia problem that Al Franken has. I think that all the people who have developed some memory issues either need to get some Alzheimer treatment from the pharmacy that provides the drugs for pretty much free, or they need to get out themselves. In fact, I have challenged. I sent a letter to Speaker Pelosi asking her to come stand with us. If she's serious about women's issues, she'll want to stand next to Juanita Broaddrick. She'll want to apologize to Kathleen Willey. She should be talking to all of the rest of the country, like myself and others who are going to be at this press conference, and she should say, okay, now's the time. Let's get it fixed. But so far, I haven't heard any reaction from her about attending our press conference.
Melanie, when you think about this overall cesspool that I called Washington a few moments ago, isn't this indicative of really promoting the idea of term limits? Get rid of the good old boys network because of the imposition of term limits at their office tenure?
100% agree with that statement, Zeb. You know, term limits should be for all congressmen and congresswomen. Nancy Pelosi has been in the Congress for over 30 years. It's way too long. She's the one, that woman. She is that woman who is covering for those men. Those men should have resigned. I mean, when we have John Conyers at 88 years old, who is doddering around and apparently doing some wildly disgusting things that we can't even talk about on a public radio station, it's time for term limits. I couldn't agree with you more about that.
You know, isn't this whole problem that's going on in Washington, D.C., and for that matter around the United States, isn't this just another disturbing sign that the American family and family values and morality, boy, it's teetering on the edge of the cliff and about ready to fall off into the abyss forever?
You know, wait, we haven't even talked about Joe Barton of Texas. He's a Republican, and that's why I say this is a bipartisan effort.
Yeah.
And we're determined that to let the chips fall where they may, and I don't care who's involved in inappropriate behavior. I've heard several sides to the Joe Barton story that he may have been a victim of an extortion attempt, and he got ahead of it by releasing the pictures of his private parts ahead of that scandal and then contacting Capitol Police. I don't know. But this gets back to your question. Really, is it that hard? Is it that complicated to know in this day and age of social media what we should be doing or shouldn't be doing with others? If a guy gets confused about this, all he has to do is stop and think for a moment, is my behavior something that my mother or my sister would be proud to say or witness? You know, it's really that easy. This moral abyss that we are seeing, has come from years and years and years, starting with the baby boomer generation, all that free love, and, the whole attitude, anything goes from the 1960s on. That's not true. There has to be boundaries. There has to be lines that are inappropriate or dangerous for women and men to cross. And I think that is the cross that we have to bear right now.
I agree. All I'm going to say to you, Melanie Morgan, is you go, girl, because it sounds like you've really got your ducks in a row on this, and I appreciate you being on the program. Thank you, and please come back in the future.
I will, and Zeb, I'd just like to invite your listeners to come join us at Stop the Scalpings on Facebook. And also, we have MediaEqualizer.com, a little donate button if you can throw a couple bucks into the kitty there to help us defray the expenses. We're just a small grassroots organization, and any help that you guys can give us is much appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melanie Morgan. God bless, and right back at you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Nice lady and very, very talented in telling the story the way it is. I appreciate her. National spokeswoman and co-founder of MediaEqualizer.com, Melanie Morgan. Great guest. Have her back soon. I'll guarantee you that. Oh, I've got to get a weather forecast on here right now, and the weather brought to you by, I love talking about this sponsor, Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. All the breakfast meats like the bacon and all the bratwurst and the sausages. I tell you, it's delicious. They're located, as I said, 331 North Road, Jerome. The telephone number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, www.scarrosmeats.com. Oh, my goodness, what a retail meat department serving you. Scarro's Meats in Jerome. We'll tell you more right after this.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for the final Monday in November. And here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. We do have a slight chance of morning rain showers. Those are supposed to dissipate by 11 o'clock this morning. Other than that, partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. Breezy, high of 47. Tonight, clear and breezy with a low of 27. Tomorrow, sunny and calm with a high of 45, but that's going to change tomorrow night. We do have a 20% chance of rain or snow showers with an overnight low of 30. That could carry over to Wednesday morning, 30% chance of morning rain or snow showers. High of 37, going to be partly cloudy by the afternoon, and Wednesday evening, mostly clear and 25. That's your Monday morning weather for Zeb at the Range.
Gina, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Have you tried that marinated prime rib? Ooh, it's like eating candy. And they've got smoked hams and, just smoked turkeys, everything for your enjoyment for this Christmas holiday season. Be sure and get a hold of them today. Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. It's delicious. Okay, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. And the next couple of minutes, I do have a public service announcement here that I want to get on, and then we'll take some of your calls. And the American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church on 605 H Street on Monday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. This is a community event. Please bring your family. There's going to be refreshments and a love offering. And for more information, call them at 436-3354. And real quick, also, a program to keep Mini-Cassia warm, sponsored by the Mini-Cassia Association of Realtors. Take a blanket or outerwear donations, and all donations are due on or before December 12th, and donations will be accepted by any real estate or affiliate office in the Mini-Cassia area. And for more information on this program called Keep Mini-Cassia Warm, please call the Mini-Cassia Realtors at 878-9170. Okay? Got you covered. Now give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Something really sad happened in California over the weekend, and it's way too, I don't know, it's vicious, it's hateful, and you want to wonder why. In Placerville, California, a family-run Christmas tree farm is now, as of this morning, forced to shut down during the busiest time of the year after they were targeted by thieves. And I understand it wasn't just a normal go in and take a couple of objects and then get out of there. They took everything. They went to the Cedar Ravine Tree Farm in Placerville, and absolutely, they even took the company trucks. They stole everything and literally put this family out of business during this most important time of the year. It's really, really sad. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
That is a terrible thing you're talking about. Doggone it. It's, they could have done it earlier in the year or something like that, but this...
Well, they shouldn't have done it at all.
Well, really, you're absolutely correct there. But what I wanted to talk to you about is welfare. The Medicaid, food stamps, and everything else. They have people out there soliciting for you to sign up and showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
And if you are on Medicaid, which I talked to a person who was, they were not even fearful of the fact that now they're making more money than what it required, but they don't even check on you till your next birthday.
You know, Keith, I have said for a long time on this program, and you've been a devout listener, and you know this is true. I've said for a long time that the only way we're going to get a handle on the welfare system in this United States, it's going to have to start on a local basis, and it's going to have to work to a county basis, to a statewide basis, to clean up the derelicts and the deadbeats that are absolutely making a living off taxpayer dollars unneedfully. People that are taking examples of the system and they're just absolutely twisting it for their own benefit. People that don't need it, they shouldn't receive it. They've got to be weeded out of the system because it's going to break everybody.
You know, they're very careful when you go in to apply for this to not ask you if you are on unemployment or you're seeking employment or anything. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
They want to know how much money you made last month.
Now, I will not
That's all
even
they need to know.
I will not even go into the grocery store with Deanne through the checkout line because I get so enraged over the people that are going through there and paying for it with food stamps. And when you look at them, the way they're dressed and or the vehicles that they drive, I just want to go out and just absolutely beat my head against the bumper of my pickup. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, me too, because you are waiting in line, and if they have some kind of problem, now you've got to fix this for me right now. They tell the clerk. The clerk's, I think, is supposed to be responsible to them.
Yeah.
But not really. But yet you get held up while they price check this or that to make sure it's a qualified item.
Yeah. I got to run and do a commercial.
Not fair to those who are paying retail.
Yep. Keith, I'll tell you what, please continue our conversation tomorrow morning in the first hour. I'd like to go into some other facts and figures on this, but I've got to wrap up the program. Thank you so much.
You bet. You have a wonderful day.
I will, and Merry Christmas. Thank you. Hey, get ready for wintertime driving and stop in at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're doing the right thing matters. Absolutely. They've got all the tires for your cars, pickups, SUVs. For your SUVs and pickups, they've got that WinterCat SST. Excellent winter traction. You better get in there and check it out. And don't forget all the tire chains and the front end alignments and the shocks and the struts and the batteries and the very, very best of brake service with highly trained brake technicians. All of this and more at all 7 locations serving you. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing matters. We'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm running a little bit late, but I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I love saying that with my jingle bells. And we'll be back here at 8:06 tomorrow morning and go till 11, the way things were, the way things ought to be.